Hello. I'm really bored, so I thought I'd pop on here and say hello. And I'm looking in the strangest place because I'm on a tablet and it's sideways, and instead of the camera being up there like the laptop, it is there. So, anyway, as I say, I'm bored. I'm sure a lot of you are. Bored, lonely. Hubby is not always here, so I have to entertain myself, and like many people, you start off probably with things to do, you get on and do them. And then after all these weeks, you're thinking, there are still things to do, but do I feel like it? No. Trying not to be apathetic. I still ensure I do my makeup every day. I do my skincare, always done that since I was 12. I'll never stop doing that. That always makes you feel better. I do my exercise. I do gym 2-3 times a week. Of course, at the moment it's online, which is really, really good. I've got a gym instructor that I normally go to his very small classes, but now he's doing it online, so we all get together, and that is fantastic. I have work to do. I have a business I've had for over 36 years. I'm a professional glass engraver. I love it. And of course, at the moment, there's not a lot of work. So I've got half of my workshop here at home, the hand engraving side. So that consists of a little drill. And that's all very well. That's nice. I can be creative. I've got a whole lot of crystal that I've brought home to be wonderfully creative with. What have I done? Not a lot. And I've had the odd orders in. And when I get a commercial order that is not requiring hand engraving, then I do sandblasting. And so I do the artwork here, and I go to my office and I sandblast, and that's that done. And of course, there's not a lot of demand for that at the moment. Like everything else, business is extremely quiet. People are still having birthdays, but of course people aren't getting together, so people are not really buying each other presents and that sort of thing. That's quite a popular subject in my field of work. Presentations, awards, sports prizes, that sort of thing. Also collectible art. People aren't really buying that. So, but what I'm doing is I'm teaching my glass engraving online on Patreon, which is really good. So that's just about the only thing keeping me going at the moment. It gives me something to focus on. I think you need to focus. You need to focus on something. Something that is you. And my glass engraving is me. My glass engraving and my health. Having said that, I have eaten more and things that I shouldn't have eaten for this lockdown, and so I'm having to be a little bit strict now. It doesn't matter how much exercise you do or how much water you drink. I drink a lot of water. You really have to watch what you put in your mouth. And the tendency to have naughty food, sugar, is there, and it's strong. The urge is strong, and the more you have it, the more you want it. Oh dear. I don't smoke. I'm not very good at drinking. I have a hangover after 2 or 3 drinks, especially at the moment. I can't deal with drinking at the moment. You think, have a glass of wine, maybe a gin and tonic at lunchtime, and then a glass of wine at night. And the next day I've got a monumental hangover. So it's not really, doesn't really suit me. And, but when you want some sort of comfort, I think you automatically turn to carbs, and that's not good. Of course, I normally play golf. Always played golf since I was 21 years old. And I'm now 58. And I absolutely love golf. I love everything about it. The socializing, that's your family, that's your second home. It was my second office for many years when I worked closer. And of course, that stopped ages ago and is about to start, albeit as exercise, not as socializing. So tomorrow, I have my first game of golf, and I'm really looking forward to it. I don't feel unfit because the gym that I've been doing is like a half an hour, very, very high aerobic session. So we do a lot of high level aerobics and the likes of push-ups and burpees and things like that thrown in, a bit of interval training, if you like, and some pretty serious tummy exercises. So that's good as well. It feels like a whole body workout. So I think playing 18 holes of golf is not going to be a problem. There will be a few muscles that maybe I haven't used that will hurt for the next couple of days, but I've got 3 days of golf booked in a row, so that'll be good. The rules are quite strict. We have to arrive and wait in the car for a very short time, so you can't arrive too early in the car park. And then 5 minutes before your tee off time, then you go down to the tee box. You play, excuse me, we're in 2 balls, no more than that. There are no bunkers. Sorry, there are bunkers, but obviously no rakes in the bunkers, so you don't touch a rake. There are flagpoles still in, obviously, but you don't touch the flagpole, and the ball will be sitting higher up in the cup so that you can just pick up your ball without touching the flag. So things will be really different. I believe that the golf courses are in beautiful condition. Ours always is anyway, but it's going to be immaculate because it hasn't been stomped all over for the last however many weeks. Anyway, so that'll be good. But with all that exercise and the routines that I still do have, you still have this deep sense of, I wouldn't say fear, it's a foreboding. It's like a dark cloud hovering over your head. And I've been there, done that on several occasions. I'm ex-Zimbabwean, and so like many Zimbabweans, I've had my traumas. I was born in Harare in 1962. And that, for those who don't know, is the capital of Zimbabwe. It used to be called Salisbury, which was the capital of Rhodesia, which is what the country was called. And I lived there until I was 39 years old. And I was married. I had 2 boys, and we got divorced. It was pretty awful, as divorces are. And the country was going one way, and that is straight down the toilet. And if you think that this country has problems maybe with the currency, the pound dropping in value, try having 16 zeros taken off your currency. So whatever money I had in the way of savings or anything like that, take 16 zeros off, you're left with not even enough to buy a square of toilet paper. So I left everything behind, like many people did, in the same year that my first husband took my 15-year-old and my 13-year-old to live in New Zealand. Anyway, they did very well. They are fine. They are in a wonderful place. They are New Zealanders now. My eldest is a detective in Auckland. You can't, they have done so well. It is what every mother imagines their children to have as a future. A beautiful place, lovely family. My son's about to get married, my firstborn. My secondborn he served in the New Zealand Army. He was on tour in Afghanistan some years back. That must have been, I would say, just the most awful 6 months of my entire life, because I hadn't seen him for about 6 years. So I see my children obviously very occasionally. And when I do, it is monumental. They've come over here a few times, 3, I think, each. And I have been there 3 times. And unbelievably, it is like an absolute dream to be able to do that. And when you believe, and you really, really believe positively, it happens. You can do it. Never give up. So my eldest son is getting married in November, and I've just got to hope like mad that that flight is still going, because I would hate to miss that. I have missed everything else. So anyway, yeah, they left when they were 13 and 15. There was nothing I could do about it. There's no support in Zimbabwe. No legal support, no financial support. There was nothing. I had nothing left to fight with, and I had to let them go to a future where obviously Zimbabwe was just going straight down the loo, and there was no future for anybody there. It was just hopeless. So he took them. He had remarried within 9 months of our divorce, and off they went, and left me with a crumbling currency, a struggling little business. I was doing my glass engraving then, obviously. Everything was going tits up. My clients were all leaving the country. I couldn't service my drills. I couldn't buy my diamond burrs. You weren't allowed to have foreign currency, and I needed foreign currency to buy my burrs from Wales. It was just a nightmare. I have no idea how I coped. And then I left everything behind and came here. Just all in the same year. And I have had some angels come across my path and help me out. And that's what happens in life. People come and people go. And when you see someone that is there for a reason, embrace it. Embrace him. Embrace her. There are amazing people on this planet. Anyway, it's now 2020. I'm still fine. I'm still fit. I have still got my business. I have some amazing people in my life. I remarried, it must be about 18 months ago. My goodness gracious me. Do you know what? I think it's more than that. Oh God, I can't even think. Anyway, so that's all very different. When we got married, it was 20 years and 1 month to the day since my divorce had gone through. It was most bizarre. So anyway, that's how it is now. My business carries on. I have it in a most wonderful little setup in a place called Henstead Arts and Crafts Centre in Suffolk. There are 17 little units. It's on a farm, and it's like a little mini industrial park. And my office is like a mini cottage. It's just incredible. That's what I always dreamt about. It's such a cliche. And when I look out the window, I overlook what is the sort of tea garden, because we have a licensed cafe there, and people all congregate and have their breakfasts. The cyclists come along and pull in for their breakfasts, and when there's been a shoot, they have, a meal there and whatever. The lunches, teas, cakes, you name it, it's stunning. They walk around all the little shops. There's artists and crafters going on, second-hand furniture and just all sorts. And it's a delight. When you park your car, you overlook the fields where there are often donkeys and horses. And there's an aviary there. And it's just so peaceful. It's so peaceful. And, you think, wow, how did this happen? So I have a wonderful little setup with my workshop and my showroom and all my tools. I've just managed to build up from absolutely nothing again when I came over in 2001. I literally had a rucksack with a drill and and a little old laptop. I think it had 64 megs of RAM. And I had a little digital camera, and that was what I started with. And I was working in a tea room, making coffees alongside 18-year-olds. My boss was very strict. It was a beautiful tea room in Warberswick. Still is. And it was an eye-opener. It was really hard. I've had my own business, by that stage for 19 years or whatever it was then. And to suddenly be cleaning the floors and cleaning out deep freezers and the freezing cold when I'm used to 35 degrees. And it's so cold I thought I was going to die. And then sneaking little slips of paper telling people that I'm a glass engraver underneath their coffee cup. And slowly building up a few customers and engraving where I was staying at the time with a dear friend who let me just engrave in the dining room. I did have another workshop for 15 years actually in Halesworth. Very industrial. Not a nice place to sort of walk in. I didn't have any passing trade, so it all depends on the internet. And so now I have a setup where it's just so lovely. I can put my glassware into beautiful cabinets that over the years I have purchased. The one set of cabinets, there are 3 big bespoke cabinets, absolutely exquisite. It took me 5 years to pay them off. Anyway, I did that because prior to that I had some second-hand furniture which I staple gun black material to and put some ghastly lights clamped onto the side. But it did its job. That was fine. We have a saying in Zimbabwe, we make a plan. And that's what we do. We just get on with it. So, but I've always thought I'm nowhere near as badly off as many Zimbabweans who have lost everything, lost their houses. I didn't have a house. Thankfully, I had next to nothing, so I was fine. And so all I had was my little business, which I sold in order to get a ticket to come here. And so I've been lucky, really lucky. And my boys, oh boy, we have had the most amazing time. Just every time we've seen each other or on Skype, we've been able to keep in contact and stay close. And when I got married, my boys came from New Zealand, and the youngest one's in Australia now. They both came and gave me away. It's just mind-blowing. It's the most wonderful thing. Their father sadly died a few years ago now. They loved their dad, and he set them up there, you know. So that was, it's all in the past. I can't even think about it. All I know is now they are fine and I am fine and everything's fine. And we've just got to hope that this virus can be beaten or at least controlled, got on top of. And if we stick to the rules, we'll be fine. And so just respect. I was brought up to respect authority. Crumbs, we were frightened of the kids in the next class, you know, in the next year at school. These days it seems to be different. People don't respect authority as much. And so, anyway, all is good. All is good. And I just wanted to come on here and chat, and that is what I've done. And so what else can I say? You look after yourself, you stay positive, love life, every minute of it. Just know that it is unfolding as it should. And that is a little quote from Desiderata. Okay. My love to everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.